There are over 5 million meme coins. 99% of them go to zero. But if you knew how to find that top 1% before it exploded, you could create generational wealth. But the truth is, you're competing against professional traders who use advanced tools and insider strategies. So in this video, I've decided to expose their entire playbook. I'll share with you the exact tools that the 1% of meme coin traders always use. And I'll give you a simple yet effective strategy to identify the 1% of gems in the meme coin space. If you are serious about making money this bull run, then stick to the end, because I'm also going to unveil my #1 meme coin pick for this entire cycle. I literally feel like this could surpass Shiba Inu. My name is Vic. I've been in the crypto trenches since 2020. I've worked with brands like Coinbase and Exodus. I found Rismus at $600,000 market cap and it ran up to 80 million. I did the exact same thing with Universal Basic Compute. If you want to be a successful trader, you need to only trade when all of the stars align. Don't go out there forcing trades just to put money into something. All of the trades that I've made that have been very successful were extremely calculated and everything lined up. So the first step here is gathering a bunch of contract addresses that we can analyze. In order to get to that point, we need to sift through the garbage first. This is how I do research. The first step is recon. When I talk about recon, I'm talking about a bird's eye view of the entire market. I want to put the right filters in place and look in the right places so I can extract some contract addresses that look pretty good. This, of course, is Dex Screener. And we're using this as kind of a home page to sift through all of the different tokens in the market. Now, if you have not used Dex Screener before or traded with Phantom before, go watch this video first. It's a full tutorial and breakdown of how you can do every single step just with your iPhone. So our goal on Dex Screener is to sift through all of the garbage, and we do this using proper filters. Now, I don't like to overdo it with filters, but there are some filters that they matter a lot. So if you're on desktop, up here in the top right-hand corner, you can go to filters. The first thing I want to filter is the market cap. Personally, I don't touch projects unless they are above $70,000 in market cap. This is typically where projects would get bonded off of Pump Fund and turn into a Raydium pool to be here on Dex Screener. So if they dip below it, that means they bonded and then they dropped. We don't really want to touch those. They're a little too risky. And the max market cap that I want to set is about 11 million because they've maybe done a bit of a run, but they haven't gone completely ballistic yet. So there are potential multiples we can make. This just sets a standard guideline, but the key metric that I like to use that I don't see a lot of people talking about is 5-minute volume. For 5-minute volume, I want to make sure that there is at least $10,000 worth of volume. Now, volume is crucial. It is the amount of attention that a coin is getting. It's the amount of money coming in and out of it. This is probably our most important indicator. A coin can have a ton of volume in a 24-hour period, but then completely die off in real time. So we want to actually focus on the 5-minute volume because that's what's happening right now. If there's less than $10,000 in volume, there's not a lot of activity happening and it's a little too risky for what we want. Now, one other filter that I like to put on Dex Screener is the boosted filter right up at the top. Now you can read into what a boost is on Dex Screener a little more, but essentially it is either the team or the community putting money on a token to give it more visibility on Dex Screener. When a token has 500 boost or more, it'll become a golden ticker, which really pops on the feed. So I'm going to tick on boosted because to me, that's an indicator the team or the community believes in this project. They're willing to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just for visibility, not even on the token. It's a good sign. But there are a bit of diminishing returns here. Like past a certain point, I would say when you get into the upper boosts like 3,500, 4,000, it becomes a bit of a red flag because why are they spending like $20,000 to boost it? It's a little sus. I would say in the range of like 200 to 1,000 is a really nice looking project in terms of boost. So now my feed is actually looking pretty clean. And what I want to do next is just literally read the tickers. Like, what do we have here? What are the memes that we have? Because you have to remember, we are trading memes. Like, that's literally what we're trading: attention, cultural ideas. If a cultural idea sucks, it's not going to run. Like, that's just the fundamental truth of it. It has to make sense to a wide audience of people and be funny. Something that isn't funny or doesn't catch on to a mass audience will not blow up to $100 million market cap. It just doesn't make sense. Why would it? So just doing a quick scan, one token pops out to me. It falls in all the different parameters that we have, and it's this UNO token. Video editor, Vic here. Can you make me a little bigger, please? Yeah, so the token that I just called out, that I just picked in this video, it ended up doing a 10x in the next few hours after I actually filmed this. People in my Telegram channel were aware. Some people there made decent money, but I just wanted to give you some validation that this stuff works. Anyway, back to the video. Now, I genuinely don't own any of this. I just found it on my deck screener right now. I'm not associated with these people, literally know nothing about it, okay? The only reason I decided I liked it is because it's called UNO Reverse, and that's already a meme. There's been so many like TikToks and stuff where someone plays an UNO Reverse card on like a police officer and then they have to write themselves a ticket or whatever. Like, this is already an established meme. It makes sense. It's funny. Also, it's a pump fund token. I can see that here with the end of the contract address saying pump, which means that it's a little more secure than something that wasn't made on pump fund. So I copied over this contract address. I opened a notepad, typed in UNO, just pasted it. And I kind of want to go through the market and just find different tokens and just store them in this notepad for the time being. Again, this is the recon phase. So I'm just gathering different projects. I'm not actually diving into them yet. There's a full protocol for that, so stay tuned. That's where things get really interesting. Now, another way that I like to do recon outside of Deck Screener is actually on Telegram. Now, if you don't use Telegram already, you can follow Alpha Caller channels. These are channels of people who trade and they're finding projects all day and they're posting them. I actually have my own Telegram channel where I provide news, insights, opinions. It's free to join. The link's in the description. But the tool in Telegram that I'm going to show you is actually a bot. It's not a channel run by a person or run by me. It literally analyzes all of those channels for us. It's very effective. This is called the Call Analyzer Bot. So if you don't have Telegram, go get it and then search up Call Analyzer Bot. I'll also put the link in the description. And then you just start a conversation with this bot and it will help you do research. So one really interesting function of Call Analyzer is that I can see which KOLs are talking about which projects. I'll show you what I mean with the token address from UNO. So I have that on my clipboard. I'll literally just give my UNO token address to the Call Analyzer bot, and it's going to tell me all the different Alpha Caller channels that are talking about this token. They even give me the ROI that they've got, and I can go and even join these different alpha channels for free. But that's a little bit more in the research phase. What I want to do here still is recon. And how I can do that, once I've gone into this screen with Call Analyzer Bot, I can just hit KOL trending right here. Now, this is going to give me a list of the top 15 trending tokens from KOL Alpha Caller channels in their database. So let me dive a little bit deeper into how powerful this is. The Call Analyzer Bot analyzes all of these different Alpha Caller channels. It is able to analyze the effectiveness of their calls, the actual ROI on the projects that they're calling out. Based on all of this data, it then organizes the top 15 calls of the top 15 tokens across all of these Alpha Caller channels. You literally don't even need to be a part of individual channels if you use the Call Analyzer Bot properly. And they even have their own ranking score. I think it's like the power score or whatever. And basically the higher this number is, going into the thousands, the better the ROI on the play was. So this ZK GPT is trending #1 on the Call Analyzer Bot, and it was just updated. So I'm gonna click this over and I can see all of the different channels that called it. If I scroll down a little more, I can copy the contract address right here. And then just like before, I'm gonna add it to my shortlist. It was called ZK GPT. So that's how we do recon. We just build a short list, pulling from different ideas, pulling from different sources to make sure we have a good list of strong memes that meet criteria to go and research. Step 2 of this entire process is technical analysis. This is when we look at the charts, how many holders they have, all of the factors that determine if this is a safe play and if the chart is swinging in the upward direction. I'm going to show you some very easy ways, even if you don't know how to read charts whatsoever, some indicators that are literally built in to these platforms that help you easily see, okay, I think this is going to go up based on these indicators. So I'm actually going to switch over to a platform that's called Photon. I'm going to have the link below for Photon. It is a completely free trading bot, which also helps you analyze tokens and gives you a lot of data and research. Now, one thing that really gets me upset about Photon is the amount of trading fees they have. I don't typically like to trade a lot on Photon, only if I need to get in quick and get out quick, because you can buy and sell in one button. But overall, I don't like to do my trading on Photon because the fees eat a lot of your profits out. But we can use Photon to do our analysis, and that's what we're gonna do. So I have the contract address for Uno copied. I'm gonna just paste it up here, and Uno reverse is going to pop up. All right, so on Photon, we have the same type of chart that we would have on Dex Screener or TradingView, but we have some other tools at our disposal. So up at the top, I can identify that it was a pump fund project from this little pill logo. That's the pump fund logo. I want to make sure that on my chart, MCAP is selected, not price. For most tokens, it's going to move the exact same way, but I like MCAP because I can actually track the market cap, which is a much easier number to track. On the right-hand side, I can actually quick buy, so I can buy 0.5, I can quick sell, I can sell 100%. And then down at the bottom on the right-hand side, we have some of our security details. This comes in handy when it's not a pump fund project. We want to make sure mint authority is disabled, so the dev can't just print more tokens. We want to make sure freeze authority is disabled, so the dev can't freeze your wallet from selling. That's called a honeypot. The LP, the liquidity pool, should be burned 100%. This happens by default when pump fund migrates over to Raydium, and it shows up here. The top 10 holders should not hold more than 15% of the supply. That's going to give it a red flag. 13% is a little high, but we can look at the individual holders as well. So how we do that is right under the chart, we have some headers here. We're going to go over to holders, and we're going to see the different wallets and the allocation that they have. You'll see a huge one. This one's Raydium. This is a liquidity pool, totally normal. It owns 15% of the supply. And the top holder actually holds less than 2%, which is pretty safe. If they dump, it's not going to dump the entire project at this market cap. And that's kind of what we're wanting to avoid here. Now, sometimes the same person can own a ton of tokens in different wallets, but we can identify that too. If we go to the next tab, Bubble Maps, this is Bubble Maps V1. V2 is much better. It's not publicly accessible yet, but if there were connections between wallets, you'd see these wallets connected, and we'd know that, all right, the same person owns multiple wallets with tons of different supply. But this looks pretty decentralized from the bubble maps that I have access to. Okay, so let's get into the chart, because I think this is where people are the most intimidated, but it doesn't have to be that intimidating. So right now we are on a 1 second chart. As every second happens, we're seeing a new wick roll in. Now, these wicks are corresponding with the buy and sell orders right here, which we can see in real time. Now, up in the top right-hand corner, we can switch from 1 second to 15 seconds, 30, 1 minute, and then any more than this, you're probably not gonna get that much data because typically these tokens are very new. Like if I go to 1 hour, basically, we're not able to really do much with this. I like to stick within 1 second, 30 seconds, 1 minute, maybe 5 minutes for a project that's been around for this long. Now, what's really cool on Photon is that, like, if you go over here, you'll notice these circles here. These are actually the developer buys and the developer sells. So it looks like the dev sold a ton of tokens. He may have exited out completely at this point. If I go up to other traders, I can turn on sniper trades and insider trades. They're already on. So we don't have any snipers on this project. We don't have any insider wallets on this project that are connected to his wallet. So overall, it's pretty clean. And this is what we want. We want a clean project. So I'm going to show you a few indicators that I use that are built into Photon. They're also built right into Dex Screener, and they just allow you to visibly see where the chart's going potentially. So let's dive into the chart. Now, in order to actually access indicators, we're going to go up here to this FX indicators button, and we're going to click it. And I want to type in EMA cross. Now, the EMA cross is a very reliable indicator. It's essentially these two lines. They are different moving averages, and when they actually intersect, that's the indicator. And we can see this little plus sign every time they intersect. So typically, if a plus happens, it's indicating that the price is either going to drop down or the price is going to increase. We can see that the indicator crossed right here, and ever since that point, it's just been ripping. And if I go back in time a little bit, you can see how accurate this thing is. We saw the momentum roll off here, the indicator crossed right here, and then it started dipping up until it crossed again, rolled back up, crossed here, and then started dipping down again. So we can use this cross, the EMA cross, to anticipate where the momentum is going to swing, and we can switch between time frames to get a better view of the overall picture or the micro movements. Another indicator that I like to use is called the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. So that's this purple box here at the bottom, and essentially what this is telling us is how much strength there is in the price. So for example, right now, the RSI is sitting directly in the middle. That means that the price on average is like exactly fair. This is exactly fair where it should be. If the RSI is very, very high, it means that it's overbought, it's overpriced, and it's probably going to go down. And then obviously, if the RSI is very low, as you can see, it was right here at the bottom, it's underbought. This is a great entry point. And if you listen to the RSI here and you bought right here when it was lowest, you can see that it came up, it was a bit overbought, came back down, and now we're hitting a better average point right here, right in the middle. Now, a different pattern that is pretty native just to meme coins is what we like to call the triple bounce. This is primarily what I used to identify that Rismus was going to rip. So what is a triple bounce? So this Uno coin might actually be forming one right now, but a triple bounce is essentially when a project will have an immediate pump, it'll dump off, it'll have a second higher pump and dump off, and then it'll have a triple pump that's much higher, and then it will die off. And this is kind of what we call a triple pump for a meme coin. There's a lot of volatility, a lot of pulling back, and honestly, this project looks pretty promising for a triple pump. It might not, but based on the indicators that I'm looking at, it's not a bad play. One thing too that you got to pay attention to again is volume. So if we look at volume at the bottom, that's these vertical bars, the volume's actually been very consistent this entire run. I mean, still to this moment, the volume is $23,000 every 5 minutes. That is an indicator that we need to be paying attention to in order to hit this triple pump and then sell majority of what we got right up at this top. Now, the last way that I like to do analysis on a token is based on their community, okay? So if they are on X and they are posting good content consistently, that's a good sign. But what I would recommend is going into their Telegram channel, because in Telegram, you can see the community strategizing. The one thing that a really healthy community will be doing is called raiding. Okay, a raid is when a community member goes into the chat and they paste a post from X. That is someone asking like, what is a good meme coin? Or they maybe posted about the meme coin itself. And the whole community goes and rallies and retweets and likes and comments and just like bombards this post and tries to blow it up. And they do that constantly around the clock. They're constantly running up these posts. That's a super good sign of a good community because they're working, they are grinding, trying to get this project out there. So if a community is raiding, that's like a really good sign that they have some strong backers behind it and they want to see this thing run. Now, this is basically how I would analyze a meme coin project, and the rest of it, I mean, whether it goes to like $100 million market cap, that is a bit out of our control unless you're part of the cabal or you have a massive community behind you and you are able to like artificially pump this, which is probably not the best thing to do ethically, but you never know what can happen. And this is definitely not financial advice by any means, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm literally just a degenerate meme coin trader on the internet making YouTube videos. So if you got value from this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, show your favorite meme coin, whatever you want to do. And don't forget to join my Telegram channel. It's completely for free. But I wasn't going to leave you hanging. I wasn't going to do it. You thought I was going to. I wasn't. I'm going to give you it. I'm going to tell you it. Okay. And I'm going to do this quick. Okay. I'm going to give you my #1 meme coin pick. It's not a small cap. This is a large cap token, okay? And it is absolutely ripping. And the reason why this token is so incredible is because the bigger it gets, the funnier it gets. This project is the ultimate troll for traditional finance. When CNN is talking about how people in crypto are making so much money, it doesn't make sense how people in crypto are making millions. This is the token that they are talking about and they are going to talk about. It will make headlines, and I genuinely, in my heart, I feel like this would be a top 3 meme coin of all time very soon. And in my Telegram channel, I just ranted. I sent voice memos. I told them I was buying so much more of this token. If you don't know what it is Fart Coins.